Hello friends! Today we will learn about the story of Raimundo de Madrazo y Garreta, an artist who, thanks to his talent and perseverance, became a favorite of the European and American elites. A journey awaits you from the ancient streets of Rome to the glittering salons of Paris, from his first student works to world recognition. The future artist was born on July 24, 1841, in Rome, a city that was a natural school of art. Among the ancient ruins and majestic cathedrals, he saw examples of how history and beauty coexist from childhood. At the same time, he belonged to a special family. His grandfather José de Madrazo was not only a famous artist, but also the director of the Museo del Prado in Madrid, and his father Federico de Madrazo gained fame as a brilliant portraitist. The family was imbued with an atmosphere of creativity, where painting was discussed as naturally as others discussed politics or trade. Raimundo received his first lessons at home. He copied his father's drawings and learned to convey facial expressions and the look in people's eyes. His family kept a close eye on his education, as they expected him to continue the dynasty. Even in his youth, he demonstrated an ability to work with details. Fabrics, jewelry, and small elements of composition were particularly expressive. This trait would later become his trademark. When it was time for more serious education, Raimundo enrolled at the Real Academia de Bellas Artes de San Fernando in Madrid. Here he studied with renowned teachers and was introduced to the academic school of drawing for the first time. At the academy, he was noticed for his particular accuracy in his work and his penchant for portraits. It was during this period that he formed the basis of his style. Classical discipline combined with emotionality and attention to exquisite details. But it was not enough for him to remain just a Spanish talent. In 1860, he left for Paris, a city considered the heart of the art world. And it was there that his real test began. Would he be able to prove in the capital that he was worthy of his famous name? Paris in the 1860s was the capital of world art, a place where new trends were born, fashion was defined, and the fates of artists were decided. This is where the young Raimundo de Madrazo arrived after studying in Madrid. Paris attracted him not only with the opportunity to showcase his talent, but also with its competitive atmosphere, where every brush had to prove its worth. Here he became a student of Léon Cogniet, a renowned portraitist and master of the academic school. From him, Raimundo learned how to work with composition and color so that images looked both realistic and sublime. But what really influenced him were his encounters with artists who moved outside the official academy. His friendship with the Belgian Alfred Stevens opened up a new genre for him: intimate scenes of Parisian life with elegant ladies in fashionable salons. Friends, please support us with likes and subscriptions for regular content, and thank you for watching us. Equally important was his closeness to Mariano Fortuny, his sister's husband. Fortuny instilled in him a love for bright colors and attention to light and shadow, teaching him to play more boldly with contrasts. As a result, Raimundo combined academic rigor with the charm of painterly lightness, which was so highly valued in Parisian society circles. These years were a time of searching for his own voice. His works appeared more and more often in Parisian salons, attracting the attention of wealthy collectors. Gradually, the young artist gained a reputation as the Spaniard with French taste, an artist who managed to combine two traditions and become at home in the heart of France. This was only the beginning, but even then it was clear that he was destined for a career as a portraitist of high society. In the 1870s and 1880s, Raimundo de Madrazo was already well known among the European elite. His portraits became a kind of passport to high society. Commissioning a painting from him meant confirming one's status and taste. He skillfully captured exquisite dresses and luxurious interiors, while also knowing how to catch the moment when the model looked alive rather than frozen in a pose. Aline Masson, who became the artist's favorite model, played a special role in his work. She appears in many of his paintings, sometimes as a society lady, sometimes as a heroine of genre scenes. It was her image that helped create a style that combined intimacy and theatricality, sophistication and everyday life. At that time, Madrazo was actively working not only in France, but also in the United States. His clients were the wealthy Vanderbilt and Stewart families, who wanted to see the artist's paintings with European charm in their homes. Thus, he became an international artist whose works adorned both Parisian salons and New York mansions. And now I want to address you, my friends. YouTube recently launched a new feature for subscribers called Hype. Now each of you can vote for this video, and your vote will show the platform whether it is worth recommending it to a wider audience. This means that you can really influence how many people will see this story. So please check if you're subscribed to the channel. And if this feature is available in your country, be sure to vote. Your vote is very valuable to me and will help the channel grow, as well as give other viewers a chance to learn about the legacy of Raimundo de Madrazo. By the 1880s, Raimundo de Madrazo already had an established reputation as a master of secular portraiture. His works were repeatedly exhibited at the Paris Salon, Europe's main exhibition arena, which determined the careers of artists. In 1889, at the World's Fair in Paris, he received a large gold medal, which was official confirmation of his international status. That same year, the artist was awarded the Order of the Legion of Honor, France's highest award. His art was highly valued not only in France, but also in the United States. In New York, he exhibited at the National Academy of Design, and his paintings were purchased by wealthy collectors, including the Vanderbilt family. Thanks to this, Madrazo gained financial independence and widespread fame on both sides of the Atlantic. But one of the most important events in his life was in 1894. That year, the artist decided to donate a series of Francisco de Goya cartoons, which he had once purchased, to the Museo del Prado in Madrid. It was a gesture not only of generosity, but also of cultural memory. Madrazo, who had worked in Paris for most of his life, showed that he had not forgotten his homeland. This gift was his contribution to the preservation of Spain's national heritage. His activities were not limited to painting. Raimundo was a regular participant in cultural events in Paris, attending salons where writers, collectors, and artists gathered. One of the most famous was the Madeleine Lemaire Salon, where he met with the leading figures of art and literature of his time. Thanks to this, he acted as a cultural mediator between Spain and France, spreading Spanish traditions in the European environment. This stage of his life can be called mature. He was no longer just a successful portraitist, but also an authoritative figure with awards, connections, and influence. The culmination of this period was the image of a guardian of heritage, an artist who knew how to not only create, but also preserve the memory of the past. At the beginning of the 20th century, Raimundo de Madrazo remained faithful to his style, exquisite, refined portraits that were so highly valued by his contemporaries. But times were changing. Impressionists and modernists came to the fore, and Madrazo's academic realism began to seem old-fashioned. Despite this, he retained a circle of clients in France and the United States, and his paintings continued to adorn private collections. In 1914, when World War I engulfed Europe, the artist settled in Versailles. Here he spent the last years of his life, retiring from high-profile exhibitions and salons, but remaining faithful to art. Raimundo de Madrazo died on September 15, 1920, leaving behind a huge legacy, hundreds of portraits and genre scenes that recreated the style and spirit of the European aristocracy of the 19th century. Today, his works are kept in the Museo del Prado, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Musée d'Orsay, the Carmen Thyssen Museum, and many other collections. Over time, they have once again attracted the attention of art historians who have begun to rethink Madrazo's significance. From being a fashionable portraitist of his time, he has become one of the key guardians of the academic tradition. Friends, if you watched this video to the end, thank you very much. Your support is invaluable. Please don't forget that subscribing to the channel, likes, and comments greatly help in the development of our project. YouTube has also recently launched the Hype feature, and now you can vote for this video. Your vote will show the platform whether it is worth recommending this video to a wider audience. So check if you're subscribed to the channel and if this feature is available in your country. And be sure to vote for this video and share it with your friends. This is the best way to show your appreciation and, at the same time, make a significant contribution to the creation of new stories about great artists.